Did you know that Mexico is home to the world's smallest volcano? It's hard to believe, but nestled in the city of Puebla, you'll find the Quexcomate volcano. This geological marvel, standing at a mere 43 feet tall, holds the record for the smallest volcano in the world. It's like the David among the Goliaths of the volcanic realm. But that's not the only surprising thing about Mexico. Let's dive into the prohibitions and strange things that only exist in this country. In Mexico, you're not allowed to pump your own gas. Yes, you heard that right. All gas stations in Mexico are full service, meaning there's always an attendant on hand to do the job for you. It's a custom that can seem quite foreign, especially to those of us used to self-service stations. But in Mexico, it's not just about tradition, it's the law. The Mexican government has made it illegal for customers to pump their own gas. This law is in place to ensure safety standards are met and to create jobs. It's a win-win situation. You get to avoid the smell of gasoline on your hands and someone else gets employment. So the next time you're on a road trip through Mexico, don't be surprised when you pull into a gas station and an attendant comes out to serve you. Just roll down your window, tell them how much you want, and enjoy the service. So sit back, relax, and let someone else do the work for you. Forget about hailing a taxi on the street in Mexico. That's right, folks. You might be used to just stepping off the sidewalk and waving down a cab wherever you are in the world. But in Mexico, that's a no-go. You see, in Mexico, taxis must be arranged in advance. It's a regulation that might seem a bit odd to some, but it's one that's been put in place for a good reason. This rule ensures that all taxi drivers are properly licensed and regulated, providing a safer experience for passengers. So how do you catch a ride? Well, you have a few options. You can call ahead to book a taxi, use a taxi booking app, or head to a taxi rank where cabs are waiting for passengers. It might seem a bit inconvenient, but it's all part of the unique Mexican experience. So, plan your journeys well in advance. If you're a drone enthusiast, be warned. Mexico, with its vibrant culture and stunning landscapes, is a dream come true for drone photography. But don't be too quick to launch your drone into the Mexican skies. Strict regulations have been put in place around drone flying, requiring explicit permission from the Mexican government. This may seem like a buzzkill, but it's essential to maintain the safety and privacy of the people and the sanctity of Mexico's rich heritage sites. So, how do you go about getting this permission, you ask? It involves filling out an application form with details about your drone and its intended use. The process can be a bit tedious, but it ensures that you're flying your drone responsibly and legally. Remember, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Violating these regulations could lead to hefty fines, or even confiscation of your drone. So if you want to capture those stunning aerial shots of Mexico, make sure you have the right permissions. In Mexico, the party has to quiet down after 10 p.m. Now, that might be a bit of a surprise to those of you who envision Mexico as the land of never-ending fiestas. But it's true. In a bid to maintain tranquility and respect for everyone, Mexico has strict noise regulations in place. This means that blasting loud music or creating any other boisterous noise that might disturb the peace is generally frowned upon after 10 p.m. This rule applies to both private and public spaces, including residential areas, hotels, and even some nightclubs. The authorities take this regulation seriously, and failure to comply can lead to penalties. So, while Mexico certainly knows how to throw a good party, it also respects the need for a good night's sleep. It's a balance that's appreciated by locals and tourists alike. So if you're planning to party all night, you might have to think twice. Building sandcastles? Not so fast. Picture this. You're enjoying the warm, golden sands of a Mexican beach, and your inner child urges you to start digging a hole. It seems harmless, right? Here's the twist. In Mexico, digging deep holes at the beach isn't really part of the beach day itinerary. You might be surprised to learn that this prohibition isn't just an arbitrary rule. It's actually a safety measure. Deep holes can pose potential dangers, not just for those who dig them, but also for other beachgoers who might accidentally stumble into them. And it's not just about the humans. These holes can also become traps for wildlife, particularly at night when visibility is low. The rule is simple. Enjoy the beach, but leave the digging to the crabs. It's all about creating a safe and enjoyable environment for everyone. So keep your beach activities safe and fun for everyone. Now let's switch gears and talk about some strange things that only exist in Mexico. First off, nestled in the heart of Mexico's ancient waterways, you'll stumble upon the eerie spectacle of the island of the dolls. This small island is home to hundreds of mutilated dolls, hung from the trees in memory of a young girl who drowned in the nearby canal. The island's caretaker, Don Julian, started this macabre collection, believing that each doll he hung would appease the girl's spirit. Today, the island attracts thousands of curious visitors each year, drawn to its chilling yet strangely fascinating atmosphere. Secondly, every December, the city of Oaxaca transforms into a vibrant spectacle for the annual Radish Festival. Yes, you heard it right, a festival dedicated to radishes. The Night of the Radishes, as it's known, sees locals carving oversized radishes into intricate scenes and figures, from nativity scenes to replicas of famous landmarks. Competitors vie for the title of Best Radish Sculpture, and the whole city comes alive with music, dancing, and a festive spirit unlike any other. Lastly, we cannot talk about Mexico's oddities without mentioning the Day of the Dead celebrations. This annual event is a vibrant display of Mexico's unique approach to mortality, where death is not feared but embraced as a natural part of life. Families gather to honor their deceased loved ones with altars adorned with marigolds, sugar skulls, and the favorite foods of the departed. The streets are filled with parades, music, and people dressed as skeletons, celebrating life and death in a way that is both somber and joyous. So whether it's an island adorned with decaying dolls, a festival honoring a humble root vegetable, or a celebration that turns death into a party, Mexico never ceases to surprise and intrigue. Mexico is indeed a land of wonder and peculiarity. Mexico, a land of diversity, culture, and some surprising regulations. It's a country where the ordinary and extraordinary blend in a vibrant symphony of sounds, colors, and experiences. But as we've discovered, it's also a place where certain things that may seem commonplace elsewhere are strictly prohibited, and others that may seem peculiar are part of everyday life. First, we delved into the prohibition of self-service at gas stations. For those of us accustomed to filling up our own tanks, this might come as a surprise. Yet, in Mexico, it's the norm, with gas station attendants on hand to provide service with a smile. Next, we explored the rule against hailing taxis on the street. Again, a common practice in many places, but in Mexico it's safer and more common to call or use an app to book a taxi. We then took to the skies, or rather we didn't. Mexico has clear regulations against flying drones without permission, a necessary measure to ensure the safety and privacy of its citizens and visitors. From the skies, we descended into the realm of sound, specifically loud music. In Mexico, keeping the peace after 10 in the evening is a must, with strict rules against blaring music late into the night. We also uncovered the curious prohibition against digging holes at beaches. A seemingly innocent pastime, yet in Mexico it's a no-no, designed to protect both the environment and beachgoers. Finally, we rounded off our journey with 3 peculiarities unique to Mexico, each one a testament to the country's rich cultural tapestry and its commitment to preserving its heritage. As we've journeyed through these prohibitions and peculiarities, we've gained a deeper understanding of what makes Mexico so unique. Whether you're planning a trip or just fascinated by Mexican culture, remember these unique prohibitions and peculiarities that make Mexico truly one of a kind.